Welcome to the On Call podcast.
Hi everyone, welcome to the On Call podcast where we do deep dives into the lives of doctors in hopes of documenting it and of course try to address issues relevant to our Indian medical community along the way. Today I have with me the infamous, the one and only surgery Dada, Dr. Saurabh Dixit. Sourabh sir is an excellent renowned laparoscopic and robotic surgeon here in Delhi. He has a list of degrees to his name like MS General Surgery, F.MAS, D.MAS, FICRS and FIAGES. From establishing two very successful hospitals here in Delhi to also being a national level faculty of surgery currently with an academy, he has truly done it all. An amazing, informative, and mind boggling podcast lies ahead for you here about this incredible man's journey. So, without further ado, Dr. Saurabh Dixit, everyone. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So, being an aspiring surgeon for so many years, seeing you at this stage of your life where you have now started your own hospital and you are teaching students from your own institute, how does that feel?
Actually, I always thought of creating my own brand. And in order to create a brand and brand value, you have to step out from that, you can say, cocoon. You have to step out of that cocoon. It was not like these things happened over, you can say, in a couple of days. I always had that vision that I will make my own brand. And there was no problem with the brands with which I was working. I was associated with a lot of corporate hospitals, big corporate names. But then what I felt that I wanted to do something in a different way for my students. And for that, I need that regulatory body. And do you know, if you want to regulate a system, you have your own system. Otherwise, you have to follow others' path. So that was the reason why I started with my own hospitals. I have two hospitals right now. We are planning more of them also. And I have started recently Global Academy of Medical Education. That is a NEET PG institution for the aspiring doctors.
Okay, sir. So the point of this podcast is obviously to do a deep dive into the doctors' lives. We always see all these great personalities such as Dr. Bidhan Chandra Roy or any like from our peer group or from our colleagues. We always hear about some colleagues' parents or some friends' parents who are an established doctor at this point, and we always see the success and never the struggles behind it. And so what I feel this has created is this created a generational gap between our generational doctors and your generation doctors, and we feel like, oh, that's where I want to reach at, but we don't really look at the struggles. So sir, I actually wanted to know everything about your life. I wanted to know from where you're from and everything. From what I know, you're from Kanpur.
Yeah.
So
I was born and brought up in Kanpur.
Okay, sir.
And then I actually cleared my AIPMT. At that time, we had AIPMT. So I cleared my AIPMT and went to North Bengal Medical College. Actually, there's a story behind why I went to Darjeeling, North Bengal Medical
Yes,
College,
sir.
basically. Because I read the word Darjeeling.
Yes, sir.
And I saw that was a beautiful place. And I just thought that I will be going to the hills and I will be having the college. But actually, the college was in district Darjeeling. So that was basically in Siliguri.
Yes, sir.
But I'm not disappointed. But this was the
Siliguri is a
reason.
beautiful
Yeah, it's a
place.
beautiful place. And I just have lovely memories from there. And this is how the thing started. And then from there, I just keep on traveling until now I'm settled in Delhi.
So how was your family background like? Were you from a well-to-do family?
Not exactly. I was not from a very well-to-do family because my father was a teacher and is a teacher still, and my mother is also a teacher. So we have that educational background, and that my father used to run a coaching along with my mother. So they used to give coachings to class up to standard 12. So it was, you can say, an average family. I was from an average family, but yes, I'm thankful to my parents that they spent a lot on my schooling and education. I did my schooling from a good college, good school, and I.
Which was, sir? Which was?
I did my schooling from Dr. Viren Swarup Education Center,
Okay, sir.
Nagar, Kanpur. So that I still remember that was a good school and beyond the affordability criteria of my parents. So my mother has also struggled a lot because in everyone's life, because now I am stepped into a family life, so I know that females have that you can say always that longing to buy gold and this and that. But I never saw my mother buying anything because they know that the kids are more important. So
So family,
they
like
sacrifice a lot.
yes,
They
their education
sacrifice.
was the main priority at that
Yeah,
time.
yeah, that
In
was
your,
it.
during your growing up in Kanpur, what are the few things that you felt no other city would have given you? Like what did you imbibe from Kanpur? What was it like?
Exactly, Kanpur is a totally different scenario. You must have seen movies like
Of course.
Dabangg, and there are a lot of movies that
In some places they call it the Gutkas capital.
Gutkas land. So I would not say there are a lot of things that I have taken from Kanpur, but one thing that I have taken from Kanpur is the courage. because if you see the guys from UP, they are a bit strong because we know that we are downtrodden. We are looked with a very different instinct in the society, so that they are bahubalis and they are dabangs and this and that. So we know how to survive basically. If you see majority of the big players in the industry throughout the country, they are having a background from UP and Bihar. So that UP background, yes, it gave me that valor to survive in the tough market.
So you've studied through Kanpur. Did you take any coaching for APMT at that time? This was the year.
I took one institute. I joined one institute. That was 2006 basically. But that was an okay institution because my parents, to be very honest, they did not have that money
Of course, sir.
to afford a very good coaching. So I went to a coaching and I myself talked about that. Said I want to study, and I was overwhelmed when they saw my marks and they said, okay, you can come. And I did not pay anything. And after my selection, I paid them 2,000 rupees, and they accepted that with a lot of, you can say, pride. And I'm very thankful to them for their contribution also, because a student like me would have not cleared if they would have not given me a proper guidance.
What was this institution, sir?
That was the name was CN Pace. No one
Okay,
knows
sir.
now because one of my sir has passed away, unfortunately. I think it happened 6-7 years back, and after that, that institution got disintegrated, and
Okay, sir.
only big brands survive,
Of
and they couldn't
course.
survive.
The education mafia.
Yeah, but wherever they are, I wish them a very good life, and my best wishes from my heart.
Of course, sir.
Always will be there.
So you went to North Bengal Medical College through AIPMT. How was that? Those 5.5 years of MBBS life like?
If you talk to me, I really want to step back to those days.
Of
MBBS life is totally different journey, which you will only feel, and you can only enjoy that journey when you pass that thing. And when you go retrospective into those memories, then you will recall and you will say those were the best days of my life actually. Because when we are in MBBS, we have friends, we have enemies also, and we have a lot of issues. It feels like what we have done, this is the worst college that is. But when you move out of the MBBS and you enter into the post graduation ship, then you realize that that was the best time. You
Of
actually
course, sir.
lived those 5.5 years. Forget about friends. You don't have enemies in post graduation. Also, it's only work, work, work. And once you step out of that life, I have my minutes also calculated that today I have to do these things, and it becomes very difficult. So yes, MBBS was the best phase of my life, which I still cherish and recall. And I
Of
don't.
course.
Whenever I am alone, I always think about those days and I laugh. I don't share it with anyone because no one can actually feel that thing. Only I can recall and feel that aura that I have actually passed on.
Sir, I have friends from North Bengal Medical College, and it's a beautiful campus.
Yeah,
It's
beautiful
a
campus, yeah.
beautiful campus, even, and it's so secluded, no? And like it's right there in the city, but it has its own life that is going on inside the campus, and it's so brilliantly.
A beautiful landscape when you wake up early in the morning and you
Yes.
see Kanchenjunga.
Those winter
fort.
mornings
And
over
that's
there.
beautiful snow-capped peaks that you get to see. So that gives you a good vibe. And it's a big open campus. And the best thing is that whenever you get bored, you just have to move 10 kilometers
Yes.
out. Either you will go into jungles, or you will go into the beautiful streams, or you go into the hills, or you go into the dwars. Wherever you go, you'll just find nature, love, nature, love. It is still, I would say, the best phase of my life which I have spent.
So, were you a good student, or I'll rephrase? Were you a studious student?
You can say that I cannot judge myself right now, but I performed well because
Okay,
I still remember in biochemistry, out of 100 students, only 9 students passed. 8 were girls, and I
You were
was
the only boy.
only boy. And actually, my friends were looking at me and they were saying, "यार तुम तो हमारे ही जैसे थे, साथ में ही बैठ के करते थे सब और साथ में ही मस्ती करते थे. Then how did you pass?" So that was the first time my name was there. And then I have secured honors also, gold medal also. So that was, you can say. But I will again go back to that question: were you a good student? I'll tell you one part of my life that this is a dark side of my life. That we were involved in a lot of quarrels and fights. Actually,
sir.
वो खराब वाले लड़के जो
हाँ.
होते हैं ना, लड़ाई झगड़ा करने
हाँ.
वाले. So I was like that. तो लड़ाइयाँ खूब होती थी, मारपीट बहुत होती थी. Or there were multiple issues when even I got you can say suspended for a couple
My
of
God,
months
sir.
or 3 months. And I still remember there was a time when we were involved in a case of ragging. Actually, it was not ragging. We were a part of a political drama. That was when someone said ki bhai, a ragging has been done against me. So he was from a different party, and at that time I was that president of student affairs that time.
Okay,
So
sir.
my name was there because I belonged to TMCP at that time. Everyone,
Yes, sir.
as a kid
You have
in
your
a college, you
affiliations.
have your
Yeah.
choices that you want to go with this party or that party.
Understandable.
So that was a time when my name went into that because I was also dragged into that. So I still remember the college dean called us and he told that, do you know the minimum thing that you will get is rustication? I said, this is minimum, then what is maximum? He said rustication plus 7 or 10 years of
Jail.
jail also.
Oh my god.
So that was a time when a group of my friends, we were 7-8 friends who were actually sitting in the hostel and talking that what to do now. Someone said, do you know, even from jail you can attempt IS. So that day that day we decided, now if we are jailed, we'll not tell parents and we'll prepare for the IAS. And do you know, after 2 days or 3 days, a committee was set up, an internal, you can say, inquiry was set up. And then after that also, it was, nothing was leaked out, and we were so much tense. And after 5 days, a postman came, and I was outside my junior boys hostel. Yeah, new boys hostel. I was standing in front of new boys hostel, and there was a juice cart also there. And that postman handed me a letter, and I was just, I was having a bit of fear that, oh my God, I think the rustication has come. So when I opened it, it was written that 3 months of suspension. And, you know, I was so happy.
So relieved.
So relieved. And, you know, I said that juice man that you can give everyone whatever they want, and I'll pay for your card's bill today.
My god.
And this is how the thing started. And, you know, and just after 2 days, what happened? My friends went to dean to plead that, sir, please revoke our suspension and we'll miss a lot of studies and this and that. So the suspension was revoked even within 2 days. Now
This was in final year.
Yeah. We were in pre-final year.
Okay.
Pre-final year. So suspension was revoked after 2 years. The dean sir was very good. But do you know, since I had that Kanpur like instinct, I said I didn't receive any, you can say, revoke orders. And I went home, and then I went to Goa.
My god.
I just went to meet all my friends who were there. And for 3 months, I kept on enjoying in a pretext that I have not got not got any, you can say, revocation order of the suspension. So you cannot say that I was a good student. Yeah, studious is a different thing. So I was not a good student, and these kinds of students are not always looked with a good, you can say, good intention from
So
the others.
I'd say it's a very wholesome college life.
Yeah.
Very
So-
colorful, wholesome college life.
So, and then after 3 months when I came, so it was like I've missed a lot of studies, and people used to think my attendance was short and this and that. There were a lot of things. So I knew that I would not be able to make up for the exam because the attendance was short. So I used to study. I stopped going to the college just because I had that shame factor that I have, the students were not looking at me with a good, you can say, view. They always thought that this guy has been suspended for 3 months. You know, this happens
the
in
stigma
the college.
is there.
The stigma is there. So I studied at my room only. I stopped going to the classes just because of the stigma. And you know, that year, in pre-final year, I secured honors in 2 subjects.
My
that was
God.
PSM and IA. And I got 78% marks that year. So yes, that's again a different part of my life that I said that Kanpur instinct is that we are brave.
Yes,
Lot,
yes.
we know how to handle the things, how to manage the things. So
I had a few friends from Kanpur, from like back from my boarding school,
Yeah.
and they've always been the most hardy and the most trustworthy people. Like they would have a huge stomach for secrets, and like they would not leak anything, and they would be a true friend. They will stand by you.
We know the value of our words, because in Kanpur it is only words, no
Yes.
commit. So we know that, okay, and that was how I evolved myself into a different life, because that incident actually changed my life. That what am I doing actually? And I realized when I secured that good marks that I had that potential. And after that, again in final year also, I did very well in surgery. I remember surgery was always my cup of tea, and I always enjoyed in surgery. I approximately got 88% marks.
That's
88%
huge.
marks is huge, because I still remember the examiner who came to take the exam. He said, he asked some questions which the residents, you know, whenever Viva is going on, final year residents, or
They're there to
always
help
there.
you. Yeah.
So the examiner asked a question and then looked at the, you can say, residents also. He asked them also. They were not able to answer. And then they said, if you can answer this question, I'll give you honors marks. So I answered those questions also. So I knew that yes, I have that.
Tenacity for surgery.
Yeah, I had that thing, and after that, I decided to become more serious in
Okay.
life,
Okay, sir.
more sincere, because I know that I have that energy which I'm wasting in other things. Let me concentrate and focus it on right direction, so I'll get it.
So I'm guessing a very colorful college life.
Yeah, it
And
was.
what happened during internship? Was internship? I know internship is hectic
In West
North
Bengal, you know, it's hectic.
Yes.
But that was the best phase.
Best phase,
Why?
yes.
Because when nowadays many of the kids are missing the internship, they're directly going to the medical colleges to do specialty. They don't have any exposure to the basics of the other departments. You know, as a surgeon now, I in my hospital I do C sections also.
Yes, sir.
Tell me which college teaches C-section in surgery. Yesterday, I did a TLH and I did it for endometrial cyst. So tell me which college will, as a surgery, will teach you how to do a TLH ovarian cystectomy.
Exactly.
It was my exposure during my internship days that I had assisted
The
50,
confidence,
50
yes.
60 C-sections. I knew that this is the way that is done.
Yes, sir.
And when I became a surgeon, I knew how to handle and play with the scalpel. So it's a cup of tea for me. I had not done my internship days thinking that I'm a boy. Why will I need to do a gynae and ops? No, that was wrong. And that is a wrong strategy for all. So the students who are listening to me, they should know the importance of the internship. You need to get exposed to all the departments. There are two advantages. As a doctor, you get a wholesome knowledge about all
Yes,
lot
sir.
of things. And second is that you understand and identify your cup of tea.
So I have opinion on this.
Yeah.
So so my internship was also hectic.
Yeah.
And I loved every second of it. I remember me and my friend who I ultimately studied with for postgrad entrances as well. So both of us were the most hardworking two interns in like every department knew our name at that time. So I remember we were doing medicine at that time, but we were also going to obs gynae because we used to love playing with the scalpel.
Yeah.
So what I understood during internship is that internship teaches you crash course, first of all, being a doctor.
Definitely.
Second, it teaches you how to work excessive hours and then let off steam.
Let me tell you, this is what is known as medical discipline, basically. So if you have not done internship from a college where you don't, you have not been tortured to. This is the word which we
Yes,
actually
yes,
use
yes,
in
yes,
our
yes.
hostel life. Then that means you have not been through a phase that is sufficient to call you a doctor.
Yes,
I
sir.
still remember in North Bengal Medical College, there were in medicine ward. You will also accept that thing, because in government hospital many a time epidemics happen, and that time it was dengue that was there. So all the beds were full, and then we had mattress and
Mattress.
one mattress on this side, one mattress hard. Barely there was any space to walk. And then what we used to do, we had the IV accesses in our pockets, and then cannulas in our pockets, and then leucoplast we used to stick on our
Yes,
denims
yes, yes.
or clothes. And then it was a dark, dingy corner where the patient was lying, and he was lying on the floor, and light was not there. And then you have to manage somehow, because that time, you know, mobile phones
Mobile
were not
phones were
also
not
were
there. Yeah.
that you can say that active, that good quality. So we had to just palpate the vein. And do you know, that is the level of
Training.
training that I have acquired. And recently there was a patient and whose all the veins were not there. I now, as a surgeon, as a consultant, I don't do these things. So I was there in ICU, and patient was very critical, and in front of me there were 2 or 3 double punctures of that patient. No one was able to do, because patient was in shock and veins were collapsed. In one single shot, after 13 years, I did that cannula.
Just because of that training and a natural instinct that has
I'm
developed.
not doing cannula because that is now not my cup of tea. But if I have to do it, I know how to do it.
Yes.
So had I not been trained at that time, I've directly taken on the scalpel, I would have missed this thing.
Yes.
So yes, to identify yourself as a doctor, you need to go through that torture
Yes, sir.
of that internship. That grueling internship is very, very important. Otherwise, you will not be a doctor. You'll not understand that your time is important, but equally, you have to understand that patient's life is also important. In the middle of the night, suppose at 3 a.m., you get a call that there's a patient who is sick with a perforation. And if you don't go to attend that patient, what will happen? It may be one more day of sleep for you. But do you know that patient has ended his life?
Yes, sir.
The whole hierarchy has changed. The name has changed to late, and his whole family is in grief and sorrow. So is your sleep that important that you miss those things? And this discipline you will understand when sister will wake you in the middle of the night and say, doctor, one more patient has come. You'll say, barely sister, I got just a small nap and you're again calling me. And she'll say, doctor, please go. So we might feel many a times that phase is not good, but actually that was the time when you were being conditioned
Yes.
to become a good doctor. And if you acknowledge that thing, you will become the best.
Of course, sir.
And this is what I feel today at my age. I have been doing the things which actually are in, if you say, as a consultant, the achievements, I'm not boasting of my achievements, the achievements which I have done, they may be 20 years more than of my age.
Of course, sir.
So,
Yes,
so,
100%.
so that happened because of that aggression to win,
That
aggression.
what we call now is that bhook.
Yeah, you have to have that thing.
Yes.
If you don't have, and these all things get innovated and encrypted inside your genes when you do a good internship. So yes, I am very thankful to North Bengal Medical College that I was part of that college campus and a part of that academic curriculum, where people might feel that it's a remote college, it's a college in a different place, but I still respect, because whatever I am today,
Yes,
the
sir.
basics started from there only.
I remember I saw an interview of yours. I think you spoke about uh, how it is always good to come out of your comfort zone. And like you were a boy from Kanpur, you had no exposure to Bengali
Yeah.
language. Now you are thrown in Shiliguri, and I think you learned Assamese or
Yeah, Nepali also. And do you know, I have a huge advantage of that.
exactly. I understand it.
Recently, let me tell you, recently I was talking to one of an executive from one big chain of hospitals from Hyderabad, and they said, they were talking and they were saying, sir, we want to send some patients to your hospital and we will send our surgeon and this and that. So seeing the accent of that lady, I said, are you Bengali? He said, ha sir, I'm Bengali. I said, then why you are talking in English, huh?
Okay.
তো আপনি বেঙ্গলিতে কথা বলতে পারেন আমাদের সঙ্গে, and she was like, oh my god, and she was so impressed that 2 days before she called me, sir, আমি আপনার সঙ্গে ইয়ে এগ্রিমেন্ট করব কি we'll give you the patients also and you will be our consultant surgeon. So just try
Yes.
to understand that language didn't pay me nothing at that
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
but now they know that these people are my own people, definitely
Helps
there's a
build a
cultural
rapport.
and provincialism everywhere. And that I would not say that this is wrong, because people trust more on the people with whom they can communicate.
Language, I feel, is
So-
a first barrier you break in communication is if you have the common language.
So now they have more confidence that he's like us, he's not that typical Delhi guy. So with the Delhi people, I am just like a Delhi guy, because
Yeah.
I have made my properties and everything is in Delhi. Even my Aadhaar card has
Yes.
that Delhi address. No one can guess, because yes, for Delhi I am Delhi, but yes, I'm out of Bengal,
Yeah.
but Bengal is not out of me.
Of course.
So that instinct that we say, actually you can take a Bengali out of Bengal, but not the Bengal out of Bengali. So wherever I'm, all the cultural, all the things, the manipulation, the discipline, the way to lead a life, I've learned from West Bengal, and I still respect that. And because of that language, I got a good contract, and financially that would have been
Yes.
missed out, because it would be just like another consultant or a hospital they are talking to. But when they came to know, no, he's also Bengali, and then these way the connections develop actually. So language does matter. And knowing Nepali, many a times a Nepali patient comes and you just talk one or two lines and they're
Yes,
like, oh
yes.
my god, I will get operated
Yes,
from.
yes,
So you win the hearts basically.
Yeah.
So there I'm feeling proud that I learned Bengali, and if I talk in Bengali, hardly people will be able to make out that he's not a Bengali.
So this is something I really relate to, because where I was growing up, I went to multiple cities because father had transferred job, and ultimately the longest tenure was at Vizag, which was at a boarding school, which is a multicultural boarding school. Now I had people from the northeast, I had people from the north, I had people from the south, I had people from Jammu and Kashmir, from the west as well. So, and very very mean conditions, very very humble conditions over there. It'll completely strip you down to your absolute basic personality, and then you learn their language. So I learned Telugu, I learned Bodo, I learned Assamese, and all that. And I didn't realize it just happens subconscious because you surround yourself with those people. But then later in life, as soon as I entered medical college, and then I had to learn how to not be in a boarding school and just learn to interact with people at that time. The moment I would see somebody from Assam and I just speak to them, or Nepal, I would just speak like 1-2 lines of Nepali, and then just that bond that develops, suddenly they trust you much more, and then you're able to build so many communications, and your networking improves tremendously just because you've put in that effort at some point in your life and you've learned that skill.
When I came to Delhi,
Yes,
the
sir.
first patient I got was a hemorrhoids patient,
Yes.
and that patient was belonging to a quack, and majority of the quacks are Bengalis.
Yes.
So that I'm not. This is
Yeah,
not a
okay,
derogatory,
I
but actually we
understand.
have to understand
I
that
understand.
people actually have a word in Delhi, wo Bengali doctor. So I'm
Yes.
also I'm the
Yes,
same.
I understand.
So what happened? That patient was so impressed by my treatment, he went to that doctor
Okay.
and told him my name. And then that Dr. Biswas, he called me. He said, "आपने बहुत अच्छा operation किया." And the way he was speaking Hindi, I understood that he is a Bengali, because
Okay.
we have a different
Yes.
accent in Hindi. And so I said, and then I told, and then conversation started in Bengali. And from there, I've made my footstep into the entire Bengali community of doctors in Delhi. And right now, I get so much of work from them, so much of work from them. They acknowledge that, "আচ্ছা, ইনি হচ্ছেন আমাদের দাদা, ইনি
Acha.
আমাদের পেশেন্টের ভালো করবেন."
Yes,
And they
yes.
are always like that. If anything is out of their domain, they said, আপনি ডাক্তারবাবুর সঙ্গে চলে যান, আমাদের বড় ভাই, উনি হ্যান্ডেল করে
I
নেবেন
think
এইসব।
I think some lecture I was saying, and I think on academy you asked your students to call you Dada, Saurabh Dada.
I don't like that word, sir, because uh, still I think that I'm evolving myself as a teacher. I couldn't evolve myself as a teacher, but I love that word Dada, because that Dada, even my YouTube channel is by
Yes.
name of Surgery Dada. It's not like Dada of Kanpur or Dabangai. Dada
Is that,
means a love,
yes.
respect for your senior. And you
Yes.
call someone Dada only when you actually love. You have a respect.
It's a very Bengali thing.
And that word Dada is in Maharashtra also, and in Bengal also. That comes with a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
So if someone calls you Dada,
Yes.
এটা করিয়ে দিন,
Ha ha ha.
so you will always feel that he is my junior, he needs help, and I have to
Yeah,
help.
yeah.
So with my students, they always call me Dada, and whenever they call me Dada, I feel like that, yes, I'm still living that college life. And as I told that I would still love to go back to those days, but it's not possible to go back without a time machine, and we don't think that we have a time machine. But yes, these students, they take me back to that era, and I feel like, yes, I'm their senior, their junior, and I'm teaching them. Like we used to go to our seniors ki, "Dada, ye padha dijiye na, exam hai, so how to manage this, how to," and they would say, "Hey, pusho, ये करना, ये करना, ये करना." And they would give us one odd work also, ये करा के देना. And we were like, नहीं, दादा ने बोला है तो करना है. So that
Understandable.
bonding, that connection which I made with the students, make with the students with that word Dada, is phenomenal. And my students also feel more related, they feel more close with.
Yes, yes.
Because when you talk about a student and a teacher, there's always some
A wall.
hesitation, always
Yes.
a wall. I would not say that it is wrong or right, but there's a wall. You hesitate कि यार इतने बड़े सर्जन है या इतना बड़ा ये है, should I be asking or should I not be asking? But actually, when you have that word Dada, a lot of things become
Yes, yes,
informal.
sir. The accessibility increases.
दादा ये
suddenly.
बताइए ना, दादा ये
हाँ.
बताइए ना. So I feel like, yeah, I should be helping. ऐसा नहीं कि because I have been in this teaching industry for last more than a decade, so people know me very well. And ऐसा नहीं कि if the students call me sir, I will not explain them. Yeah, I understand that gravity, but Dada means more, you can say, comfortable word
Yes,
for
yes,
me.
yes, sir. So, which was the year you did your internship in?
I completed my internship in 2013.
2013.
Yeah, everything I completed.
And
then I
that time it was fairly like postgraduate was a thing.
Yeah.
You had to do your postgraduate
Yeah,
at that time.
there was a culture. There was a
Something I learned very recently by just talking to other people, other established doctors, was that I used to think that postgraduate craze only started after late 1990s. That's what my perception of it was.
Basically in 2000s, after 2000, the students who started their career after 98, 95, basically,
Yeah.
they all started to pursue the post-graduation.
But so, like after speaking to a lot of people, I understood that no, okay. So even during early 1990s, like 1991, 1992, even then the postgraduate, okay, the competition wasn't as much, but the need to do a postgraduate was real. That was a very real thing where people knew that, okay, if you want to reach the top, you have to do a postgraduation.
Yeah.
Not that it's necessary to reach the top, and you can earn substantially a lot by not doing it, but then at least that knowledge was there. 2013, of course, you have to do a post-graduation. Did you take an off year or did you crack it?
I cracked along with that.
Internship?
Continuation, I went. My rank was 123. And
That's brilliant. So that's a huge thing to do it with your internship.
So that is what is one part of my life with the students or with people generally don't understand actually, that how the things are happening.
Yes, sir.
Like on one side we see he's projecting himself as a badass guy, and one side he's coming up with. So these are two different things. So over the time I told you, I understood, I realized that I have that potential.
And you have to get serious.
And I'm having a lot of aggression. And aggression is a very good thing, but you need to captivate that energy and utilize and pump it in right direction at right point of time. Otherwise, you'll waste the things.
Yes.
So this is how I moved on, and then I completed my MS. And just after MS, I settled in Delhi. Quickly, I went to Delhi.
How was your MS like? I know that you've
Awesome,
done it
awesome.
from SSKM.
Yesterday only, I spoke with my professor. He's a professor, Abhimanyu Basu sir, and he's actually more than everything for me. Matlab, if you say ki what he's, I would say he's God for me. And I always wish him that he gets an immortal life. Wherever he is, he's always happy. So yesterday he called me to,
Okay.
very few students have that relation. He's just like my father. He gets angry at me also. But I know that he is always loving me. And sir came to Delhi. Sir bought some sweets for me. You can say sir's daughter got a dress for my daughter from US. So these kinds of relation can only be earned when you actually like submit yourself in
Yes.
front of your teacher. And I would say that I was blessed to be a part of SSKM, because when I was going to SSKM, since you are also from Kolkata, you know that there are a lot of people who say that in SSKM you get MD surgery, not MS surgery. Surgery is not that, you don't get any cutting exposure. This is what I want to correct to all the newcomers, that it's not about how much you cut, it's what you cut, what not to cut, and when not to cut. So if you see SSKM as a college, it's one of the best college
Yes,
of
sir.
country.
100%.
And you have a lot of departments, so you expose yourself to a lot of surgeries which you miss out in the peripheral colleges and other colleges. I've seen a lot of surgeries, and if you say that I have done MD, you can say surgery.
Hmm.
Today I have done more than 15,000 surgeries. I was seeing I've done more than 15,000 surgeries. That's a huge,
Huge
number.
number.
And that is because of SSKM only.
Yes.
And it all, the college is not to be blamed. You have to blame yourself. You have to
And there's
devote
opportunity
yourself.
everywhere.
You have to devote yourself. You have to show your professors that yes, you are working hard, and take my words, they will hold your hand. Like Professor Basu, I remember Basu sir, he used to scrub in, and he used to say, "Hey, bhai, tu inne mein ash." And I used to scrub with sir, and then he used to change the, "Hey, tu idi kya? আমি S2, তুমি S1." And he actually handheld my, you can say, career. And he had shown me all the surgeries. He has even given me a lot of chances to do big surgeries. And you name a surgery, I've done all of them. All of them. I used to be a fan of sir, and still I am fan of sir. And till date, if I have any trouble, I call sir. I'm
Okay.
making any big decision, I call sir.
Okay.
So Professor Basu has been everything for me, and he will be everything for me.
That's something I feel is very lucky, because I've always seen this happen as I was going through internship. Even now, I've seen some people are very lucky in the sense they get mentors.
Yeah, reality.
And I haven't. I have been unlucky in that case. I have not yet reached that stage in my life. I know at some point in life I'll get it, but then I haven't gotten a mentor yet. But I've seen my friends get mentors in their internship, and I used to crave for that. And such a beautiful thing. Some senior taking you under your wing, and then teaching you everything. So such a beautiful relationship it inculcates.
Let me tell you one thing, that getting a mentor is not the scenario.
Earning
You
it.
have to identify the mentor
Okay.
first. No one will ask, no one will share his time with you.
Of course.
No one will. Like Basu sir, he has seen a lot of batches passing under him. There were other colleagues also. He had been generous. He had been helping them also. But why sir actually had some extra, you can say, I would say that sir had some extra
Affection
towards me, because I used to do my work very good in my first year ship.
Diligently.
And whatever be, if sir has said something, it has to be done.
Okay.
You have to identify that person who will take you to the other side of the horizon, and you'll just have to just keep doing his words. I still remember it was 3 a.m. and there was a patient who needed a dialysis next day, and the routine dialysis and are not possible, because like if you have a patient from ward, indoor patient, and you want to get dialysis next day,
Yes, sir.
so you will have to send it to the dialysis unit, and the dialysis unit has already scheduled some dialysis. It was
The
very
waiting period
difficult.
is a lot.
So I pleaded with the nephrology resident and the DM resident, PDT, and I got the dialysis done at 3:30 a.m. and I myself took the patient and got it done. So next day, when sir saw this, sir said, "You got it done?" I said, "Yes, I went." And so sir knew that if something has to be done in the ward, this guy as a first year will manage the ward. And since I was good at studies also, I got that privilege. And this is how I got the scalpel.
Okay, sir.
You have to earn that
Earn
scalpel.
that scalpel. Yes.
You can buy that scalpel, but you have to earn that scalpel in order to know how to just use it. So this is how I earned sir's confidence and trust, And this is how I actually matured myself.
Okay, sir.
So finding a mentor is first thing. Impressing the mentor is the second thing. And more than impression, you have to devote yourself. And then you will see that one fine day he will call you. Recently, I was looking at that movie Rocketry.
Yes, sir.
So that R. Madhavan wanted to get his internship done under a very rude, you can say, professor who was not giving mentorship to anyone, who was not even coming to that college, and no one actually dared to talk to him, but he wanted to do. So he identified. He then went to his home. He said, I will do this. I will clean your clothes also. I'll clean your floor also. I'll clean, manage all these things. And I know how to cook this and that. I was seeing that scene. So, and then you see that movie, R. Madhavan actually transformed himself in that movie into someone who was phenomenal scientist. So if we talk about that, you have to identify devote wait. You cannot say कि सर आप मैं एक महीने से आपके लिए ऐसा कर रहा हूँ आपने ये कर दिया वो कर दिया. No, you'll have to
Wait your chance.
wait.
Wait your turn.
You're able, if you're lucky,
Yes,
then
sir.
only you'll get a response.
Yes, sir.